a yellow wall and always mess up with my white balance. I
Okay.
look purple all the time.
You look wonderful. So I've started the recording. This is Pick One Photo, episode 6, I think. And what we do here is very simple. I invite a guest. The guest picks one of their photos and brings it here. Then they pick one of my photos. And together we explore the photos. And my guest today is Andrés Fernández Cordón from Argentina, from Buenos Aires.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
I am doing quite fine.
Was the introduction adequate?
Yes, the introduction is perfect. And I always tell you that your pronunciation of the name is almost right.
I'm so proud. Where's my mistake?
Where's my mistake? No. Yeah, it sounds almost native.
Just almost. Okay.
We the rolling R's.
The rolling R's. Andrés Fernández.
Very important.
True. We have known each other for about 15 years. I think we met each other at the moment around the time when I started with this whole weird podcasting business. So yes. We go back. If you listen to the podcast Tips from the Top Floor, then this person in this box next to me, he made the logo. He's the one who came up with that. So, I haven't changed it in years. And actually, I've put my drink on my logo, on his logo. And so anyway, we go back way back.
I do too. And it looks because
let's hold them up here.
Yes.
I love this.
It's a vintage item for now.
Yeah, it is. I still have a few really pristine ones here. So 2 or 3 maybe are left from back then.
Yeah, for the museum, right?
It's a German thing. You have to have your drink coasters for your beer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we have you've made a choice of one of my photos. You brought one of your photos. I have your photo here. Before we dive in, I suggest that you let me know first which photos you chose. That's the surprise moment. Tell me number.
You have any idea of which one I choose?
No, of course not. I know.
Of course not.
And I'm still waiting for the first collision because I'm not taking the ones out that have been used. So let me see. Find out.
It says the number here. Yeah, it's number 61.
Number 61.
Yes. 6:30 a.m.
6:30. Oh, I like that choice. I do like that choice. Okay, so
no collisions there.
Sorry?
No collisions there?
No collision.
Perfect.
Which is interesting because some guests think that they clearly chose like the perfect one and that everyone else chose before them, but it's never. Everyone has a different eye. Everyone looks at photography in a different way. So before we talk about that photo, let's talk about yours. You brought this photo of, I suppose, your kids?
Those are my kids, yeah.
Yes. And of course, I do have a few questions about the photo. First question I'd like to ask this is, when you sent this to me, it didn't have a title. Does it have a title? Do you title your photos?
No.
No?
I never... Okay. No, I haven't thought about it, but no, I usually don't title... I never title my photos. Now what I'm thinking of.
Do you? Okay, but there's a difference between having like a deliberate untitled photo or
no. I don't think.
Or a number that the camera gave it. You know.
No, just the camera. I just use the time for the name of the photos.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, but I suppose it's. I never. You caught me by surprise because I never thought about it. But now that I'm thinking, not even the paintings or whatever that I do, I usually don't name it. I don't title it.
So when you do an illustration, you just explain which one you mean when you talk about it.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Kind of.
Interesting.
There's not many settings. I suppose if I have to do like an exhibition of photos or something,
or then you would
perhaps
do that. Yes,
I will be tempted to name the photos.
But you have some of this stuff online on stuff like Flickr and so on. So do you fill in the title field there, or is it?
Yeah, probably yes, but something like very neutral for me, I guess.
Okay. Well, we had this talk with other guests on the show. What the kind of titling that you could do could be leading the viewer into a certain direction, which some photographers don't like, and then it could be just a descriptive one, like children,
the kids on the streets. Yeah,
right? And this one, kids, puddle, sidewalk.
Kids and puddle. Yes, I guess I've done that a couple of times now that I'm thinking about it. If I on purpose want to re-signify the meaning of the photo.
Okay.
If I think of something that is very different of what it's obvious, like kids on a sidewalk, but.
All right. I think
reflection.
Yeah, whatever. What I always want to know is there a story behind this photo?
It kind of is. There's a story behind the photo, but there mostly is a story behind me taking this photo.
Okay.
So to speak, because that photo was taken in Cuba, in Havana, and when I had to, when you request me to pick a photo, it was very difficult for me. I'm not used to have to do that, but it's like an odd choice for a photo from me for many reasons. One, that I'm not used to take photos on black and white. It is in RAW, is JPEG, just straight from the camera, no whatever, and I'm using a prime lens. So I with manual focus and manual everything, and I'm just the opposite of that. I always want to have like a zoom lens and have all the range for myself and
all the control. So you gave
all the controls.
You gave up control for when you took this photo.
For whatever. So you kind of know the story behind the camera that it was.
Yes, I do.
It's a used camera that I never buy a used camera, and it was new when I take the photo. So we were on a trip. The trip itself, I didn't choose the setting. I was invited. So kind of for the first time, I was in a new place for me, and I didn't feel the need to like document the trip or the place and take the photos of the cool places and make that like the proper tourist photos, So and I didn't have any rush to know any place of the city. I was walking. That's at midday.
So you were just enjoying everything, and
I'm just enjoying.
No pressure, nothing.
It's not very common that I just put the camera on black and white, JPEG, whatever. I don't care how they look.
Why did you do this in the first place? Why did you give up all that control? Was it just like did you want to take some of that pressure off your shoulder to deliver, or what was it?
It was like a very strange setting that I don't know the setting. I don't know the city. It's the first time that we get out of the hotel, and I didn't feel the pressure. It's the other way around. I didn't feel the pressure to take good photos of a place that I need to remember.
Okay.
So it's like I take my toy with me, and lock me into all the difficult choices possible. I had to use the viewfinder, and the electronic viewfinder is not very good on that camera, so you cannot never tell if you are in focus. So for me, it was like an exercise on don't care about the technical aspects of the photos in general.
An exercise in trusting in the technology.
Yes, and the kids were almost in the same way, because they didn't care about the streets or whatever. They're just hanging around, my two kids. So they were kind of bored.
Yeah, they look kind of bored.
All the time. Yeah, all the time. So the story behind the photo is that we were walking and they were hungry and they didn't want to do anything else more. And I remember that he says something like, "I don't want to walk anymore." So I said, "Just sit there on the sidewalk." And then when they sit, I do something that I almost never do. That is asking them something for the picture. It's like,
okay.
Okay, there's a paddle there. Just sit.
So you post.
Yes. No, I didn't post. So just sit 1 meter closer, right? Something like that. But I didn't say anything about the pose or whatever. So my son is looking at me like, what?
What's going on?
And the other one, and the little one is not paying any attention. So the story about the photo, or mostly what I choose this photo, is that it's not out of my comfort zone in the sense that it's difficult to take the photo, but it's me trying like things that I don't usually do, and I'm being very playful. I don't care.
So
I love the photo. Yeah.
What triggered you to press the shutter button? Was there any specific thing that went on inside you that when you decided, I have to take this picture? Was it you seeing the puddle, the reflection, or something?
Yeah, the first thing that I noticed was the puddle. Puddle, and without even looking through the camera, I noticed that the textures were going to be amazing, at least for me, like the cobblestones and the sidewalk and everything else. And the thing that I like, I think I took it in that moment, the shutter, because I think that I noticed even in that moment is that he was looking at me and she's not on the photo, and there was no way that I would say to her something like, look for the picture, smile, whatever. So I think I hung around for 4 seconds, and she was so interested in the paddle. I mean,
she's got her Crocs on, so that's always puddles are always interesting for kids.
Like hitting the water a bit and seeing how it splashes. She was doing that. So for me, it was like nice from the photo perspective to have like the subjects looking at different directions,
So it's a photo that where you have a lot of things that you normally never do. You didn't really care about it. You set your camera on JPEG and black and white. You posed your kids. Did you do any edits on that after the fact?
No.
Nothing.
I sent you the JPEG from the camera.
I like this.
It's tempting because even having a JPEG and even if being black and white, it's tempting to just the brightness a bit more here and there and sharpening, and it was a miracle that the focus is on there. Is on them.
Well, I mean, sometimes we need exactly that. And did you just take this one photo, or did you take several photos?
I think there are two or three.
Okay.
But it's not like automatic. How do you say it?
Burst mode.
Yeah, it's not burst mode. It's just 3 closer.
Yeah. What's going on behind the camera when you turned around there? What are we not seeing?
No, probably similar setting, but with myself crouching. It was just it's a street on the old section of Havana,
right?
Like the most tourist thing, so you can see all the tourists in the background,
right?
And it was not long ago. It's like February, but it was before the whole pandemic thing,
when everything was still okay. So let's move on to the picture that you chose of my photos. This one, 6:30 a.m. What do you want to know?
Nice. First, the first thing that made me choose this photo from yours, because you have a lot of many lines pictures, of course, is that it made me curious about why did you pick it for the selection.
Okay. So
I have my ideas, but I want to hear yours.
Right. Let me give you a general setting. So this is 2011, 12, 13, sometime around that, on a Himalayan hike. So my friend John, who was also on this series, he kicked off the series with the first episode here, Pick One Photo. We were in, that's Tibet. That's the eastern face of Mount Everest. Not on Mount Everest. By far not sporty enough to do that, but we did a hike there in the Kanjung area. And the thing I did there for the first time that I normally don't do is I really made sure I had my camera on me all the time, every single minute when I was not inside the tent. So we were hiking, we slept in tents, we had a yak train with us. So there were like 35 yaks that carried everything. We were like a little expedition. And we hiked for, I think, 10 days up there. And we ended up... well, this was 6:30 in the morning. This was earlier than I would have gotten up, but I think I just went to the bathroom or something, and I decided to take my camera just because I promised myself at the beginning of the trip that I would do this, that I would have the camera with me all the time, and that's one of the Sherpas who is just getting up. They didn't even put up a proper tent. This is one of the probably like a kitchen tent or something. Oh no, wait, that's one of the yak herders. They have that only this tarp over a string, as you might do as kids, in the garden somewhere. And they had this little fire going in there, and this guy was just putting on his jacket, just putting his arm in the jacket. And
is it fire?
It's a fire. It's a little fire. It's a little fireplace there that they... like a campfire, and I think they cooked some tea or something for themselves. So it's just the setting. It is dark. It is not bright. There's the warm fire in the middle. There's this person that you can kind of recognize as a person, and then there's these blue tents behind it. So it's the color contrast. It's a bit of mystery, what's going on there, because you don't really know. So a lot is hidden from sight. And it was one of these snapshots. I took this one photo. I didn't take multiple, and I forgot about it until I finally came home and could work on all the photos. And then I was like, yeah.
I love the photo. Yes, it's. Of course, at the beginning, it took my eye the contrast between the warm. At first, I thought it was a fire, but then I kind of rationalized that no, perhaps it's just a lamp, and it's because it's too blue, so it's like too okay. But I love all that the diagonals of the tents, the composition. I noticed that it's like a snapshot, but it's accidentally very good, and you can tell your eye there. And so I really love that, the contrast between the colors and the textures of everything, the gritty.
That's something that I'm not sure what method I used there, but the gritty nature of it. What I tried to do with a lot of pictures from especially that tour was a look that looked like a black and white photo, but in color. If you understand what I mean, there's this black and white often has this grittiness, the graininess, and I try to kind of apply that to color photography, and it's a very deliberate. I kind of don't like the word, but it's a deliberate look that I gave the photos, or many photos from that tour.
And it's a stupid detail, but if you just frame the part with the bags and the gas canisters and a piece of the tent, something, it almost looks like an old film photo. I think the shading and the grading, everything, it looks very analog.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's kind of the feeling I try to give it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you noticed, which means I probably did the right
No, it really
thing.
looks like an old, yeah, not old, but like some National Geographic film photo or something. But
Has a Kodachrome feeling slightly.
yeah, but the thing, I had like 2 or 3 finalists for picking,
Mm-hmm.
and I went back and forth between the 3 of them, especially the last 2. And the thing that made me choose this one in the end was because only after a while I stopped thinking about like visually the photo,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed something that you already mentioned, but it took me a bit. And the thing that made me notice it made me love the photo. That is the stick coming out of the of the tent.
Yes.
I remember I saw the stick, and I just at that moment realized that it wasn't a proper tent.
Yes.
And you can see it's like the whole socioeconomic aspect of the photo.
Very
That
true.
you can see the whole all the cold but warm inside. I guess it's like cold in color but warm inside tents of the tourists that have the money to pay for the expeditions, and you even see the name and the URL on the tents, like very commercial tents.
Yes.
And everybody's sleeping and resting, and the guy already working when it's still nighttime. I thought it was the Sherpa or something like that, but it has like a crappy tent, and
it is what's really funny is it looks very commercial. You see there is like a logo and a URL on that blue tent, but it was not the logo and the URL of the company that we went with. They all work together. So someone else like, yeah, can I use your tents for this tour? And it is really like a big family. So yeah, but the yak.
I love the contrast. Yeah,
yeah, the contrast. There is definitely a socio-economic contrast there as well in the picture. Yes, I can clearly see that. They even when they set up the tent in the evening before, I think the stick was just something they took from the side of the road. They didn't bring it, so they just made a tent.
Yeah. Again, I really only noticed it. I should have noticed it before, but I really only noticed it at second view or third view, and made me really like the photo. And I didn't get the sense of it being like a critique, but mostly like I don't know how in some way that all the people is together in the same trip. I mean, or climbing the same mountain, so to speak. So even with different backgrounds and possibilities or whatever, they're on the same path, so to speak. Made me think of that. No,
yeah,
it doesn't look like a critic photo or something.
No. It's not meant to be social critique at all.
And there are 2 people getting up early: the photographer, and the Sherpa.
Yes. No. I literally took the photo. You know, when you're on one of these tours, these are things that you do not really think about that much because they're just the way they are. And this is just from a visual point of view, and it really was a split second. Like he was the fire was flickering, so it was oscillating between really bright and very small, and it was just perfect in the middle the way it is here. And then the guy was moving and putting the jacket on, and I was like, okay, I gotta take the shot. And then I think I went back to the tent because it was cold.
And I guess it was very cold. That's what I wanted to ask you.
Up there on that hike, we had everything from t-shirt kind of weather where we could really hike during the day at a nice temperature, and snow. Waking up in the morning, being snowed in, and having to get the snow off the tent first before you can leave it. So we had everything there. It's a very good mixture. All right, Andrés, thank you so much for coming on the show.
It is a pleasure.
It was a pleasure having you, and thanks again for bringing your photo. And what's next for you today? What time is it?
It's
late morning.
Almost midday. Is almost 12 o'clock.
Do you have work during these times?
I have work during these times. Yes, good. Luckily. I have work, and also I have kids, and everybody is at home, and
so you're busy.
I am more busy than I want to. Yes, I managed to do bread twice, so I guess that qualifies as the quarantine that everybody's having.
Okay, good.
But yes, just one thing I wanted to tell you about this whole show, the Pick One Photo. You know what made me think of? You know how our we are so used to having, I don't know how many photos my kids are going to have of them, like thousands.
Oh, photos will have a very different meaning for them than they have for you, yeah.
But just the Pick One Photo made me remember of, our grandfathers, or something like that it was usual for them to just have one photo of a person, It was a very, or perhaps our grandfathers, but just one photo of the person, and you, when they finally die or whatever, it's all cramped and soily. And that's the only photo of that person, and it's weird because nowadays it's kind of up to us to choose which one is the photos that we choose. And we are so not trained to do that. We are not trained at all.
That's a challenge for sure.
Yes. I don't know which one will be my only photo if I had to pick one. That's what I mean.
I don't know. I would have a hard time choosing. Yeah. All right, Andrés. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. And
thank you for yours.
And we'll be back with another episode pretty soon. Until then, take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.